Gravity Falls was an experience like no other. For anyone who followed Dipper and Mabel's summer adventures while new episodes aired, you really couldn't watch anything in the same way. With all the theories, mysteries, and puzzles outside of the actual show, it went down as one of the most memorable cartoons of all time. When Alex Hirsch was planning out all the necessary details for Gravity Falls, he had a beginning, middle, and end in his head. There were a few rules about what went on in the small town, and one of them was that all the events were to take place in just a single summer. Naturally, that sort of thing would heavily limit the number of episodes in the series, which means we'd get all the story we need in a short amount of time. Turns out, that's exactly what happened. This series only lasted 2 seasons. It wasn't perfect, nothing is, but it excelled in more ways than one. Fans had to say goodbye to the complex world of Gravity Falls in 2016, even though you couldn't help but want more. There were still loose ends and small unsolved mysteries about the characters and their pasts. Not only that, but so many other stories were waiting to be told. Although there never was a season 3, and there doesn't have to be, something released just 2 years later that would come as close to a 3rd season as possible. In July 2017, we got word of something Gravity Falls related in the works, even though there weren't many details about it. Over the next year, there'd be more information about what to expect, and finally, the project was officially revealed to the world in July of 2018.
Summon the graphic novel!
Schmebulock is a talkative guy. He wrote a book that you should buy.
Gravity Falls Lost Legends, 4 all-new adventures coming to a store near you.
I love Schmebulock.
I love capitalism.
This is Gravity Falls Lost Legends. The cover tells you right there. It's 4 all-new adventures that never actually appeared in the series, separate from those events, while still being very much connected to the world we fell in love with. Putting a focus on some of the biggest characters in Gravity Falls, we were able to see them go on new adventures that added to the lore and storytelling of the show. If you were worried about these stories just being unofficial fanfictions or something like that, then fear not. During an interview on his book, series creator Alex Hirsch had a few words to say. I consider most things made outside of the show itself to be canon-ish, which is a totally made-up word meaning stories that are plausible, but are a step removed from the pure canon of the series. You can think of the Gravity Falls fandom as a galaxy. The show is the sun, the books and games are orbiting planets, the fan creations are delightfully bizarre mutant aliens, and anything I tweet at 3 AM is interstellar debris and should be avoided at all costs. Lost Legends contains events that very well could have happened within the show, and honestly, most of them could work as standalone episodes. Considering it's written by Alex himself and drawn by many artists who played a major role in Gravity Falls, this was as official as you could get. Let's dive into the various stories and how they contribute to expanding the world, along with some special codes and secrets hidden throughout. We start off not with one of the mini-stories, but instead with Schmebulock, who has a rare opportunity to talk with us, the viewer. You can tell based on how he acts that he's supposed to represent a typical hardcore fan of the series, aka all of us. He spends his time making theories about the characters and trying to get more Gravity Falls content. He may not play a huge role throughout the book, but consider him your home base as the mini-stories are being told. We begin with Face It, a tale that develops Dipper and Pacifica's relationship after the events of Northwest Mansion Mystery. Yeah, this references things that actually happened in the series, so it's meant to expand upon what we've already watched on TV. Anyway, it wouldn't really be Gravity Falls without some kind of supernatural shenanigans going on, and this time around, we come face to face with a face stealer named Mr. What's-His-Face. One thing happens after another, and Mabel's face gets stolen, so it's up to Dipper and Pacifica to get her back and save the day. This works really well, because it gives us a chance to once again check in with how these two act together. Reading about how she's treated in her family genuinely makes you feel sorry for her, which, like I said before, expands upon what we've already seen. Now, right here, we have an example of one of the loose ends being tied up. In the season 1 episode of Irrational Treasure, Dipper is given a president's key that can open up any lock. Seems like a really cool thing, right? Except it was for some reason never used in the series, which just felt pointless. Why would Dipper get the key at all if he wasn't gonna use it? Lost Legends finally ties that up as he uses it to unlock a door in an attempt to chase down the face stealer. They both journey down to a mysterious realm, a paranormal black market with so many blink and you miss it Easter eggs. Turns out the season 2 hand witch hangs out down here for selling severed hands. There's this monster from that one Dipper's Guide to the Unexplained short, a member from from Society of the Blind Eye is selling memories from characters we know, further building on the lore of Gravity Falls. What are the secret pasts of characters like Tad Strange and Tambry? I don't know, but they're right here. Another cool Easter egg is shown in the Wanted poster, which clearly depicts Ida from the Owl House. I absolutely love this whole concept, and it's just filled with so much to appreciate. There's even a part where Slenderman himself makes an appearance, which confirms that old hoax of him being in the small town. Meanwhile, Dipper and Pacifica are caught, and she really does grow as a character. It feels like something that fits right into the series. Anyway, there's a final confrontation, and everyone makes it out happy in the end. You can tell that this is the same exact writing from the show, which makes sense, because it's Alex Hirsch. Out of everyone on the team, it's him who knows his characters best. He's able to give us a brand new adventure, introduce some new concepts and villains, while at the same time making us love Pacifica even more. Things take a much different turn in Comics Up, which if I had to describe in a single word, meta. Very meta. The gang is looking through some old comic books, but it's clear that Stan doesn't approve. He's cursed by a mysterious chest that turns his life into a graphic novel, which soon escalates into a universe-hopping adventure through the medium. We are treated to various parodies of different comics over the years, including these 4 panels that are absolute genius. Dipper steals his own hat, and the same cycle could pretty much go on forever, while still making sense. Also, I can't continue the video without mentioning this god-tier manga parody. Out of context, you'd think this is some kind of fan art of everyone, but nope, it's 100% official, and as kawaii as you could possibly imagine. Almost every trope can be found within these pages, blessing everyone who decides to read. The fourth wall breaking adventures continue as our heroes jump from comic to comic. Now at first, this seems like just an entertaining story without any emotion or deeper meaning to it all, but this is Gravity Falls we're talking about. That's why, in a surprising turn of events, Seuss ends up in a comic called Little Stanley. Stan is crying, and it's because he drew this comic when he was 10 years old. He may have said he hated comics at the beginning, but that was just because nobody gave him a chance. We even get to see some more flashbacks of Stan's past in the exact same style from the show, making this feel even more canon. There's genuine emotion here, and the kid in the Mystery Shack ends up giving Little Stanley a chance. Sweet! You see, this is what I'm talking about when I say Lost Legends is so good. These are the kinds of stories that not only bring you closer to the characters, but they act as additional content to enhance the world of Gravity Falls. Comics Up in particular works best in the comic form for obvious reasons, but I think an episode of it would still be really fun to watch. The third story is Don't Dimension It, which is probably one of the most important we've seen, and the fact that we didn't get this in the series is sad. Taking place after the events of Weirdmageddon, it turns out that Bill's demise led to tiny dimensional rips popping up in the oddest places. Our heroes have to go around and do some cleaning, which eventually leads to Mabel getting sucked into the multiverse. We even get to see what it would be like if the Mystery Shack was a zone in Sonic. I don't know who wanted that, but look at it! This is great. After Bill's death, there's even some reflection from his henchminions who are clearly glad he's gone. Now, the core part of Don't Dimension It lies in the universe filled with Mabels and how they're all stuck. This page alone is filled with more references than you can count, and it just makes you stop to appreciate the art so much more. Our Mabel tries to escape so she can return to her family, but that's not as easy as it sounds. Everyone else is self-centered and doesn't really care about that stuff, which obviously makes our Mabel mad. Fast forward a bit, and there's an anti-Mabel that tricks our Mabel. Oh my god, I'm saying Mabel too much. There's this all-out war, but things turn out nice in the end. In the final few pages, however, we get to see some character development that really should have been in the actual series. You guys know how Mabel did all that selfish stuff throughout Gravity Falls, and how she literally caused the apocalypse because she wanted one more day of summer? A lot of fans weren't happy with her character, and the fact that it wasn't addressed much made it even worse. But that's where Lost Legends finally comes in and ties up the loose end. She actually apologizes for everything she's done, and she makes sure Dipper knows. Now, if you find someone who's read Lost Legends versus someone who hasn't, they will have a very different opinion on Mabel. That's because this book cleverly develops her into a more mature person, acknowledging her past mistakes, while hoping to change in the future. She even gives Dipper his own journal for them to start some new adventures, and this time she won't hog the spotlight. Alex took this common critique from the show and addressed it to make Gravity Falls a more satisfying experience. The final story in the Lost Legends saga is The Pines Boys in The Jersey Devils and the Details.
Wait up! Yeah, you should keep up. I can keep up. Whoa! Neato!
We may have learned about the Stan twins' childhood in A Tale of Two Stans, but there were so many more opportunities to hear about their adventures as kids, considering they were the original mystery twins. Obviously, they did some crazy stuff we don't know about, hence why it was further explored here. As the title suggests, they're on the search for the mythological Jersey Devil, a well-known urban legend to anyone from New Jersey. Stanley, aka Grunkle Stan, gets in trouble with his dad because he's suspected of stealing a gold chain. This is pretty much what kickstarts the adventure, since the twins believe it was stolen by the devil. While searching through the sandy shores of the past, they must come face to face with their own identities and how they're considered weird for their own reasons. Stan and Stan may not always see eye to eye, but they still have each other's backs when things get rough. As expected for the usual Gravity Falls story, not everything is as it seems. The two were hunting for the gold necklace caper, when in reality, the culprit was Stanley all along. Why would he do that? We find out soon, but before that, the Jersey Devil makes his incredible debut. The twins escape to a place called Satan's Hellhole, and can we please appreciate that this was allowed to be shown? It definitely wouldn't fly on TV, but I guess the world of graphic novels is a lot less strict with what's shown, so Alex can finally make Gravity Falls how he wants. Anyway, there's a battle with the Jersey Devil and another pair of mystery-solving twins, but at the same time, our heroes have to talk about the whole necklace situation. We learn that Stanley was trying to borrow it and polish it up as a Father's Day gift. He accidentally smashed the case and got too scared to say what happened, and he's jealous about how Stanford gets more attention. Lost Legends isn't afraid to tread emotional territory. This kind of storytelling was of course present during the show, but specifically with these guys, we didn't get as much of it in A Tale of Two Stans as I hoped. Their hunt for the Jersey Devil gave the opportunity for even more time to be spent with him, which is something that worked really well. And while the story took place mostly in the past, we even got pages after Gravity Falls, when Stanley and Ford are on real adventures. No matter what, their bond now is as strong as it once was, and it's only knowing their childhoods that we can appreciate that. The final page of Lost Legends gives us Schmebuluk once again, who talks about how Gravity Falls should get a miniseries or another season. Too relatable, man. He also mentions that there's a secret message hidden somewhere in the book, but it's a small tease, and you really don't get all the answers. Listen, Gravity Falls isn't really Gravity Falls without puzzles and cryptograms. Scattered throughout the book are a bunch of different codes, some of them meant to make you laugh, while others feel like pieces of lore that could be addressed at a later point in time. Every single one is listed on the show's wiki if you're interested in knowing them all, but for the purpose of this video, I want to revisit the biggest code in the book. There are various components of the same sentence hidden on different pages, and eventually, you'd come to the conclusion of, to find a spider, search the web. Use that key on the code right here in the table of contents, enter it online, and voila! You've been introduced to a completely new website based around Lost Legends with a ton of its own goodies. Greetings, paranoid antisocial code cracker of the internet! If you are here, that means you, like me, have an insatiable thirst for the secrets of Gravity Falls. Welcome to my private study, or stockatorium, where I collect my most elusive files. By all means, creep around to your heart's content. There are 10 different books on the site. Click on them to explore special details about certain characters mentioned in Lost Legends, or even bonus content we didn't get to see. It's an absolute treasure trove of Gravity Falls goodies, and just like the show, this felt like a full-on experience. So at the end of it all, what makes Lost Legends the closest thing we've got to season 3? Well, not only does it give us even more stories in the mysterious fictional world, but it does so in a way that further evolves each character. No page is wasted in either making us laugh, feel, or get excited about new Gravity Falls concepts. Almost all of these could work as episodes of the show, and they read exactly the same as how stories are played out on TV. The fact is, your understanding of this world is enhanced just by reading. Basically, Lost Legends is a masterpiece, and if you've ever craved more content with Dipper and Mabel, this is where you need to go. I'm just crossing my fingers we'll get more at some point in the future, but only time will tell. But anyway, that's all for this video. Subscribe for more awesome cartoon videos. Give a thumbs up and comment below, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.